Today we are going to study the differentiation of syndromes. My name is Hu Ying. I'm with the TCM department of Sengjing Hospital. Preface. In traditional Chinese medicine, syndrome differentiation is the major part of diagnosis. Both syndrome and disease in TCM have different implications from the same terms used in Western medicine. Unlike Western medicine, traditional Chinese medicine has no concept of disease entity based on pathoanatomy, but some superficial pathogenical changes that can be observed from the outside. It's more important than disease diagnosis, for the treatment is usually based upon the syndrome. Treatment determination based on syndrome differentiation is one of the major means in TCM to diagnose and treat disease. This is a basic principle to both recognize and treat diseases in TCM, and a concrete measure to resolve the practical problems clinically. So, treatment determination based on syndrome differentiation is an essential feature in the diagnostic and therapeutic system of TCM. And if you want to learn syndrome differentiation very well, firstly, you must learn how to differentiate disease, symptom, and syndrome. How to differentiate disease, symptom, and syndrome? Symptom, syndrome, and disease are different in nature, but they are closely connected. Symptom, in its body sense and body sign, means a change in the body which shows the disease or disorder, including abnormal tongue and pulse, manifestation, fever, bitter taste in the mouth, headache, aversion to cold, loose stools, yellow tongue coating, and weary pulse. In many instances, symptoms mainly refers to what the person feels or complains of. Disease means a whole pathological cause, including special cause, mode of onset, pathogenesis, progression, and prognosis. Examples are common cold. Muscles, palpitation, differentiation of diseases in a process in which a disease name is established for the main clinical manifestations and characteristics. Syndrome here means neither the whole cause nor a clinical manifestation of the disease. Syndrome is a pathological summary in a given stage of a disease in its course of progress. A syndrome reflects the whole situation of pathological changes in a special state of a disease. A syndrome refers to a collection of medical symptoms at a certain stage in the course of a disease. Even in the case of the diagnosis, more or less equivalent to that of Western medicine, it is still insufficient for administering proper treatment, and further determination of syndrome is necessary. In this respect, there are some similarities between Western and Chinese medicine. Coughing, headaches, and diarrhea simply can be symptoms of the disease itself in TCM. Jaundice, ascites, and goiter are signs which can be discovered by the patients themselves. The difference between syndrome and the disease. For example, 消渴 for the Western medicine is diabetes mellitus. It is still insufficient to administer proper treatment. For the determination of the syndrome is necessary. The case of 消渴 in Western medicine, the differentiation between insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus and non-insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus is important for the diagnosis and treatment of diabetes mellitus. It can't be properly treated by a doctor of Western medicine if the doctor doesn't know whether it is insulin-dependent or non-insulin-dependent. In traditional Chinese medicine, the syndrome of Xiaoke is classified into different patterns. The dryness heat of the lungs and the stomach, dissection of the spleen and the stomach, insufficiency of the liver and the kidneys. In TCM, many syndrome patterns can be found in the same disease. Many different diseases can show the same syndrome pattern. The same syndrome pattern can be treated with the same therapy. Therefore, a disease is really treated differently according to different syndromes. Different diseases may be treated with similar therapy if they show the same syndrome. This is why TCM treatment determination is based on syndrome differentiation more frequently than on disease diagnosis. In traditional Chinese medicine, a syndrome is not merely a collection of symptoms and signs, but comprises the following components: components of syndromes, the location of pathological changes, the cause and pathogenesis of the disease, nature of the syndrome, and the ability of the body to resist pathogenic factors. The location of pathogenical changes only refers to the depth of the disease. If the disease is in the interior, it is regarded as the organ disorder. Even if an internal organ is involved, it implies the involvement should be in a very broad sense. TCM emphasizes more on the characterization than on the impairment of the disease organ itself. There are 6 kinds of clinical syndrome differentiation: syndrome differentiation of the 8 principles, syndrome differentiation of qi, blood and body fluid, syndrome differentiation of 脏腑 organs, syndrome differentiation of the 6 meridians, syndrome differentiation of 胃, qi, yin, and 血 physics, syndrome differentiation of 三焦. Thank you.